Hello everyone, welcome back to GDQ Hotfix and welcome to Parallel Universe, the show about community-created content such as fan games, custom levels, mods, and more. I'm Helix. Tonight, with the help of our first runner here, Wolsk, I have lined up 3 I Wanna Be the Guy fan games, starting with a run that was very well received from SGDQ, WannaFest 22. Let's just get right into it, Wolsk. Take it away.
Hello. I'm Wolsk. I'm gonna quickly send out a stream announcement so that people know that I'm here. But I am going to be doing WannaFest. For those who did not see it at GDQ, this past GDQ, it was a really solid one. Really happy with how it turned out. This is a if you've seen I Wanna Be the Guy fan games before, this is probably still going to be a brand new experience unless you saw this specific run, because it is crazy, it is wild, there's a lot going on, and it is unlike any other ones you will have seen previously. So we're just going to get into it. I'm going to drop a countdown and then we'll get going.
Sounds good to me. I'm excited.
Hell yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so the general idea of this game, and this these small cutscenes that you're basically not going to see any of, I'll show a couple of them, is we are on a game show, and instead of just, so this was made for a marathon called Fangames Marathon, and every single year there was a blind race or a blind event where it was common to do a special fan game that references a ton of other games, and it's a really cool format that's a lot of fun and lets people kind of figure out how they're going to adapt different mechanics into the I Wanna Be the Guy formula. And the reason I mention that is because this specific one was supposed to be a slight difference in the formula, because every other one, they had a simple way of you just teleport to a world, you go from place to place, and the devs specifically wanted to do something that would be not done to death in that regard, and give a different reason for why things are happening. So we're on a game show, and our goal is to win a car, a brand new car. And we're trying for score, which is why you'll see points and stuff and coins drop and lots of things that don't kill you that maybe would seem like they would kill you when it comes to most I Wanna Be the Guy stuff. And that's because we just want to get a lot of points so we can get a better car. So there are 4 main endings, and then there's a 5th ending for doing an extra hard difficulty, which is 1 save per world. Extremely brutal, hence why it's called brutal mode. And this first stage is Goemon 2, a classic Japanese game series. So we are actually going to be getting a bit more wacky as the games progress. So this one, as I mentioned, this may look like standard I Wanna Be the Guy stuff, but it will not stay that way throughout the whole game, I can assure you. And if anyone at any point has questions about this game or these games in particular, feel free to ask.
Yeah, go ahead. I believe we will both be looking at chat, so I can help relay questions while doesn't get to them. Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of this run, and it definitely gets ridiculous.
So starting out, we had that first screen that takes us into this, which is a long auto scroller, and we're going to be doing a pretty tough strat right at the end that did not go well at GDQ. So I'm going to try it here, and we're going to see if I can get my redemption arc and actually have it work out, because it is really cool when it's done right. Oh, yes, that's good to see. Oh, perfect. That feels great. I got my redemption. I'm happy. If everything else goes badly, that went well, so I'm satisfied.
You love to see it. Congrats.
Thank you. So now we're into the third section. This stage is 3 sections long before reaching the boss. That shot was weird. And the boss is where things start to get just a little strange. It's the first instance of seeing this game and being like, oh, there's a bit more here. Also, to explain that blind section, because, I mean, you couldn't see what was going on. Basically, I'm using audio cues to figure out exactly when to jump, combined with muscle memory. So it's a pretty tough strat. And the fact that I got it feels just great. And we're going to hope that the rest of the world goes well. Also, I'll briefly explain what I Want to Be the Guy fan games are, if you don't know, because I didn't really touch on that. So I Want to Be the Guy is a game made in 2007, late 2007, as kind of an ode to hard games, where it was like inspired by other games at the time, like Cat Mario and Secret Life of Iwata and Kaizo Mario and stuff. So there's a whole bunch of history there, and it was made to be like brutally hard. But since then, there has been a lot of fan games and stuff made, and the community has evolved in such a way that you can end up having a team of people make a pseudo 3D fist fight boss, as opposed to what the original was, which was far more simple than this.
And that is exactly why this Hotfix show exists, because fan games are awesome.
Yeah, they're kind of wild. Could I blindfold it? That specific section I could not blindfold. The game in general, definitely not, because there aren't enough audio cues in these games. That only works because it has some specific audio cues that I can use. Kayan actually has an FAQ regarding that I Want to Be the Guy strong bad question, and the explanation he gave was he realized that like sometime while he was working on the game, but he had the name beforehand, and it's not impossible that he like subconsciously just had it in his mind, the I Want to Be the Guy stuff, but it wasn't an intentional reference. All right, so that's stage 1. And now we've got Wario Land 4. It's like Pizza Tower, but old. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm back at the bottom. All right, let's do that again. I like the climb so much, I want to do it twice. All right, so in this stage, it still looks like kind of standard I Want to Be the Guy stuff, but the big difference here is that now we have a dash mechanic. So we can do our shoulder bash by pressing our shoot button. We don't have a gun here. And we use that for traversing the environment, and we use it for attacking a boss later. In addition to the fact that we can do transformations and we can roll into a ball and stuff like that. All the things that you would expect to be done in Wario Land. Hi, T-Tree. For those who don't know, T-Tree was my host for the GDQ run. Wonderful lad.
T-Tree was also a host for one of my past GDQ runs.
Oh, that's awesome.
I 100% agree with your sentiment. Wonderful lad.
All right, so we're going to do a little bit of a skip here. Normally, after going through this part, we would want to go all the way to the left, but instead we're going to charge straight at that bat so that we have to do the save again, which may seem a little slow, but trust me, it's all in the name of speed. All right, so now we're going to try this a second time, and now that we had that set up, now we can do it perfectly because that death really helped us get things going. And that allows us to skip going all the way to the left side. As I go through here, I'm going to intentionally smack those big blocks, and that's because if I happen to fall down at some point later, it's going to allow me to not waste nearly as much time as I otherwise would. And it doesn't waste any time to set up that backup, so I always go for it just to be safe. Oh, clean. Yeah, by the way, if anyone did see my WannaFest run at GDQ, you may be maybe a little confused why the save points are bananas instead of floppy disks, but I had a bid war for that, and floppy disks was the winner. The saves do actually have slightly different hitboxes. The floppy disk is like a diamond shape, and the banana is a circle for whatever reason.
Oh,
ultimately, it
sure.
affects like nothing. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, was if it actually ends up mattering at all.
Yeah, it like matters to the smallest possible degree where it like doesn't actually matter for anything, but it can in theory, technically, maybe. All right, we're into part 2 of my GDQ redemption arc, where this boss I encountered a problem that I hadn't experienced before, and I was really struggling to figure out what was going wrong and repeatedly messing up in the same way. So we're going to see if we can do this boss quickly, because it is actually one of the hardest bosses in the run. Execution-wise, it's just a little weird, because it's got 2 phases, and when you go into phase 2, you need to turn around and ground pound, and that'll send you the opposite direction. So we need to dash at it, then turn around, then ground pound twice, one to hit the head, and then one to just send ourselves to the right side. And if done perfectly, and there you go, a 151. That's really solid. I will take that.
That was clean.
Hell yeah. That boss, I'm actually doing constant manipulation to like make it spawn the rocks in a certain way that let me do damage. So it doesn't work exactly the same as it would in a casual playthrough. And if you try doing it casually, you'll probably be a little confused why things aren't working as you see in a speedrun. All right, so now we got an escape sequence. We've got 2.5 minutes to get out. We're going back through every screen. There are no saves. And this is why, like I mentioned before, we had a setup, because if I happen to fall down here by missing that jump, then I wouldn't have to take as long underneath. But, I mean, it's unlikely I mess up that jump. It's just for safety. We also set up a strat earlier where I hit a block that let me skip that left side. That saves a couple seconds. But, I mean, ultimately, it's mostly... It's nothing flashy, I'll say. But it's nice to just have extremely minor strats that are easy to do. Solid. 122 is actually really good.
A couple seconds sounds relatively impactful for a run like this.
Yeah. All right, so that is 2 of the stages down. What game could possibly be next? So now here's where the game gets insane. Because this entire game was made in GameMaker 8, except that the devs are insane, and they recoded GameMaker 8 and remade it to allow them to do what they wanted with it. So this is known as GameMaker 8.2, which GameMaker 8.1 was the last version of GameMaker that was made. Before Studio, of course. So they decided that they just wanted to fully remake GameMaker. And that allows them to have implemented 3D environments, like actual 3D environments, not just pseudo 3D. And it allows them to do like fancy stuff like shaders and whatever that normally would not be doable in GameMaker 8.
Imagine saying, I can't do everything I want to do in this game engine, so I'm going to entirely recode this game engine. What a flex.
Yeah. They're an extremely talented group of people.
No kidding.
They have a history. They used to do Sonic fan games, actually, and then at some point left the Sonic fan game community,
Oh, hey.
discovered I Want to Be the Guy community, and we're like, oh man, this community's great. So
We had a Parallel Universe episode about Sonic fan games a while back.
Oh. I think they made Sonic Ball is the name of it. So, if that is ever done at some point, then we know who made it.
We have not had it yet, but there is still time.
Solid. Has Doom been made in I Want to Be the Guy? It actually has. And that is one that, if I could learn the run, I think would be a great one to show off because it's a rather absurd game. That is also true, Cosmo. They reverse engineered the PS1 to be able to put PS1 stuff into GameMaker. Really talented individuals, I'd say. All right, so now we've got, I mean, for those who don't know Klonoa mechanics, you just pick up things and you throw them. You can throw up, down, left, right, forward, back, and also, or not up and down. You can do down. So it's down, left, right, forward, back. And you do down by jumping. All right, so we're into boss 2. This was the thing that went flawlessly at GDQ, which is genuinely like the hardest strat in the entire game, and I am the only runner who has ever even bothered to try learning it because it's too difficult. It's extremely technical. There's lots of really, really precise lineups, and I'm going to see if I can have it go as well as it did at GDQ, now that we're in other GDQ. Maybe GDQ is just a good luck charm. Wow. I am 2 for 2.
What a legend. You made that look easy, too.
I genuinely can't explain how complicated that is. Because of the amount of like things that happen in such a short period of time. But there's stuff like jump canceling, pixel alignment, enemy spawning, precise timing for actually hitting the boss. Like, it's kind of wild. Oh, this is unfortunate. I've got like some really weird audio delay right now. So I'm timing this not with rhythm gaming at all.
Oh no.
It'll get the job done. It's just not ideal for me. I'm just going by visuals. By the way, you can in fact freestyle. That is a common question when they see Parappa. As mentioned, proper 3D environments and stuff. The kid is actually the original voice of the kid from I Want to Be the Guy. They tracked down the voice of the kid and the guy, Kayan and Paul. But they got someone else who's like a friend who does like professional voice acting to do Master Onion. Wow. I did not deserve to do that. I was way off on my timing.
The more I hear about these steps, the more awesome they sound.
They're extremely talented. And they're like terrifying too, because they always have games being made that they just like keep private. So they've probably got like 3 projects going on right now that most people just don't even know about. There was a really high-profile fan game that released less than a week ago, and they even participated in that, which no one had any idea until it was out. Yeah, the Master Onion's voice is like pretty impressive. So the way the mechanic works here is as long as you don't make mistakes 2 times in a row, you're safe. So I knew that on that one, I didn't make a mistake before the second to last one, so I figured I'd just have fun on the last one. You can tell if you make a mistake by whether there's a record scratch. Record scratch means you messed up. All right, now we got Sonic. So before the run, I did what's known as Sonic Preload, which when you enter the stage in standard Sonic fashion, it will have like the Act 1 whatever zone thing pop up. But I did something where I was able to launch the stage ahead of time, and in doing so, it skips like the 2.5, 3 seconds of that text showing up, which is a worthwhile time save, and it's one I discovered when I was doing aisles of this stage. It was a fun discovery. So this stage...
Take the free time save.
Yeah. This stage is extremely cycle-based, as you can see. I'm resetting on most of the saves, but then occasionally I'll not reset, like this save, which puts everything in a good cycle. And a cool thing about this stage is actually the way this was made was a bit different. For a lot of the rest of the game, it was like 1 or 2 people were in charge of like the entire stage, and they worked a bit on things together, but there were people who were like spearheading specific stages. Whereas this one, every single dev made like their own separate path in this, and they linked them together, which means that it's got like based on which path you take, it could be made by a completely different person, and it's got like some character in that regard.
That's neat.
Yeah, really fun choice for designing it. Alright, so this next one has a very tough cycle. Everything from here is kind of tough to get correct on cycles. Wow, that's unfortunate. My cycle is completely messed up now. That's tragic. We'll make it work. I have no idea what cycle I'm... Oh, okay, not a good one is the answer. All right, well, that's unfortunate, but we're just gonna go on like nothing happened. I actually haven't done this cycle in a while because it's like the one that I used to do before I found a faster one. Oh yeah, speaking of Kid Sprite, so all of the sprites in this game are done by an extremely talented artist named Kosaku, who does all of their art in different versions of MS Paint. Kosaku's ridiculous. So all of those like kid sprites of him like flipping around and stuff were just MS Paint.
What a mad lad. That's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah, they're very talented individual. They're also like a music producer. I mean, they have some amount of like game dev experience on the team, but they mostly just do the art. But they're quite talented.
I was gonna say, it's well done, so fair enough.
In the next stage, you're going to see a sprite that's going to potentially blow some minds. And I will mention it when we're there. The next stage is definitely one that you do not want to miss because it's absurd. Alright, so we're going to do a pretty tight strat here. If we do that jump early, we barely squeeze under that, which saves a lot of time. And to answer the question of, are I Want to Be the Guy Fangames actually this good now? Yes and no. There are certainly good ones that get made and have been made like for a long time, but this one is definitely in another league from most of them and still blows minds to this day. But this is from 2022. Oh, this is unfortunate. Oh, that's really unfortunate. So these things spawning, their position and their timing and everything is RNG, so sometimes you could get spawning that just lets you never touch the ground, which looks really cool. Most of the time that doesn't happen. But getting through is good enough. All right. We're gonna do something dumb here. Normally you can just stay on the right side, but I like lining up there for no particular reason. All right, so now we've got the Metal Sonic Race. Bro will kill you when he touches you. If you happen to be on the same level, does this like electrocution effect thing that you want to stay away from. And like everyone who runs this game has a different path through here. When you jump off of the slope, then it launches you into the air. So usually my strat is to just stay as high as possible to stay away from Metal Sonic. But like I said, every runner has a different way of doing this. So this is how I've learned to do it and how I like it. And I almost messed up there, and I'm really glad I didn't actually. I almost just fell off that block. All right, so that's that. And now we've got, we are going to rescue the princess. So we get Hatsune Miku here. Yeah, there's a huge difference in quality for I Want to Be the Guy Fangames, but sometimes the extremely low quality ones are also fun in their own way. All right, so like I said, here's where things get kind of absurd. And Helix, I'm sure you've seen this stage, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
This is my kind of fan game here.
So I'd like to direct everyone's attention to the top right. That's not how you do that. If you look in the top right, you can see that like 3D rendering of the kid in monkey ball fashion. Yep, that's MS Paint.
That's
not a 3D render.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Kosaku was just one day messing around in like Discord with his friends and like tried to see what he could come up with, and just happened to make that in like a couple hours, just messing around, and made this like beautifully like almost 3D rendered MS Paint drawing. And I think that was like their inspiration for actually making a monkey ball stage, was the fact that that existed.
They added green goals? Wait.
Yep.
So for those who don't know, green goals in monkey ball normally skip levels. So to see that instead of those regular blue goals, I don't know, just seeing that in this is funny. Did it skip any levels at all?
Yep, it did.
That's awesome.
So there are 2 green goals that I'll take that skip levels. One of them was that one where you literally just hold right, and the other one is we're gonna do a pretty tough strat. But there's a whole bunch of like whoa wacky stuff here. So full tilt, the whole idea is you're supposed to hold right and do full tilt, but it's faster to not do that, so we don't. All right, here's the other green goal, and this is going to be the first example of the fun stuff. So for those who have not seen monkey ball speedruns before, I'm gonna reset that again. Pause buffering is a common strat. So we're gonna do that. And we're gonna dunk the goal that way.
What in the world? Yeah, that looked like a monkey ball strat, all right.
Yeah, exactly. That used to be like considered not RTA viable, and then like not long before GDQ, actually, I started messing around, and there were 2 specific levels that I really wanted to make their hard strats RTA viable. So I messed around until I could figure it out, and it was that one and 1-2.
There is something
so it's extremely cool.
So funny about the fact that pause strats are in this game as well.
Yeah.
As a monkey ball runner, it's hilarious to me.
The one thing that makes me sad about this is that there are things that would work as well as pause strats, but we don't do them because overall, like pausing would end up being slower than just doing the stages normally because all the stages are pretty short. So there are like, I wish I could do more pause buffering strats. Damn, that's a really good time for that stage, by the way. You'll also see me occasionally do like bumps where I'll like flick the stage backwards. And doing that lets me jump into the air kind of. And that's used quite a bit throughout.
You mentioned ILing the Sonic levels, so I presume people IL these as well.
Yeah. I actually, like pretty much every single strat in this stage was made by me.
Oh, cool.
With the exception of one of them, but this was just my favorite stage to play. That was way too early. And because of that, I just really wanted to like keep grinding and like see what IL things I could come up with, which is funny because apparently when the devs made this stage, that's what they were like really hoping people would do. But until me, no one else had actually like tried doing it.
It's very much in the spirit of Monkey Ball, so it makes sense.
Yeah. So I made like an IL compilation, and since then I've actually gotten a bunch of like much better times, but haven't done anything with them yet. I need to edit that video. 1 frame late.
I understand every reference here, and I am so happy right now. Oh, nice strat.
So that's my favorite stage. That strat is so cool.
It really is.
Basically, you pause buffer, you have a single frame to do it, but it's a single frame every 2 seconds. Technically 2 seconds and 1 frame is when the pause buffer like wraps around. So I look for like a 5864 and then a 5662 and then a 5460, and based on that I can just hold straight right. And that's great because that stage is actually like really hard casually. This is another funny one. So we just hold right and we do a quick flick back to the left, either 1 or 2 frames, and you just go through it.
Oh, that's smart.
So this is the classic URL stage. A lot of these are based on normal stages, and as mentioned, Fangame Marathon is what this game was originally made for, hence the URL there.
Shout out to Fangame Marathon. I will be completely upfront and say that I have been taking inspiration from Fangame Marathon for this show. So shout out to Fangame Marathon.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm the lead organizer of Fangame Marathon, so I've got my allegiances.
I didn't know you were the lead. That's cool.
Yeah. This stage is definitely one of the hardest strats, if not the hardest strat in the stage, because it's like so feeling based. But
yeah, this looks a bit ridiculous. That goal entry looks very tough.
Yeah, you can do it on the left or the right. I'm ideally trying for the right side, but I'm messing up. So this one's taking longer than anticipated. But that's fine because it looks cool, so it's worth it.
Really? That is philosophy behind my Monkey Ball speedruns, so I'm glad to see it reflected here.
And then created by the Cherry Treehouse, which are the devs of this game. I can't believe made it.
Wow.
I'll allow it. All right, so this stage is interesting. You actually look at the mini map when it starts because the bullet spawn is like kind of random whether you'll get 2 bullets in a row. So you check the mini map to make sure that the 4th one is water rather than a bullet, and that allows you to just hold right for the start. Yeah, Cosmo is the co-organizer of Fangame Marathon, exactly. So he and I are the main people behind it.
And he will be our next runner, I believe.
Yeah. And he's going to be doing another insane I Want to Be the Guy fan game. Like, you're going to see just how much variety these games have from the next 3 games, or this and the next 2 games, I should say. Like, straight up, if you've seen I Want to Be the Guy before, if you've seen Boshi before or whatever, all of these are going to probably blow some minds because they all have something that is, like, completely different from what you may be used to seeing. That's unfortunate. Thanks, Seth. Yeah, I'm happy with how the marathon went this year. Why?
I heard good things for sure, especially like from a lot of the monkey ball community. People seem to really enjoy participating and viewing and everything. It sounded like it went well.
Yeah, we have a not so secret bias. Everyone in the tech crew absolutely loves watching the monkey ball runs, so we are always like,
as they
please
should.
Monkey ball people submit.
They're correct for that. I'll have to throw a submission in next time myself.
That would be great. Happy to have you. All right, so this, I went for the joke at SGDQ. I'm not going to bother with it now. I'm just going to explain how this works because it's like really complicated. So this works based on the timer in the top right. You look at the seconds, and what we want ideally is RNG that gives us 331, 333 on the dice rolls. And you can see I shoot that on a 3, I get a 3. And that works for 3, 6, and 9 will all give a 3. Likewise, 2, 5, and 8 will give a 2, and then 1, 4, and 7 will all give a 1. And then that leaves 0 left over as being actually random, where there's a 1 in 3 chance of any of them. Out of curiosity, how are we doing on time right now?
My stream is a little bit behind, but it looks like you're at about 35 minutes of your 52-minute estimate.
Okay. Well, then we can do something funny.
I do enjoy funny things.
So, because of the RNG factor, we're going to reach the end with a chance of whether we get a... there are 2 different things, because we're going to land on this space, and we either get a 2 or a 3 will count as reaching the boss. If we get a 1, then it sends us all the way back to the start. So we can gamble with a 0 for the 1 in 3 chance of getting sent all the way back to the start and wasting like 40 seconds just because it's funny. So we're just gonna leave it up to RNG and see what happens. How can you get this game? So if you actually just do a Google search for WannaFest 22, it's an itch.io page. Alternatively, the place where most I Wanna Be the Guy fan games are hosted is called fangam.es or delicious-fruit.com. And that's where like this and the 15,000 other I Wanna Be the Guy fan games are hosted. But yes, this game is in fact free, and you can just download it. The devs even have the source files available because they're awesome.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, they're great people.
Yeah, I respect it a lot. That's really cool.
All right, so here we go. We're relying on RNG. Unfortunately, I have to like wait for it to fully wrap around to 0 again. But let's see. The 1 in 3, will we get through, or will we go back to the start? Yo, we continue. All right. I did this in Fan Game Marathon, and I actually got sent all the way back to the start. 5 frame, unfortunate. Yeah, 15,000 is not an exaggeration. There are genuinely 15,000 of these games.
See, this is why I was like, I need to have I Wanna Be the Guy fan games, because I know that community is huge.
Yeah, it's like actually absurd imagining that number. Because like most people, most fan communities, like if they have like 3,000, that's like an insane amount. For us, that's like how many a lot of people have beaten on their own.
I thought Monkey Ball had a lot, and that's nowhere near.
Yeah. I've beaten something like 2,200. But there are people who have beaten like 8,000 plus. So that's true. They're not all as good as this. It's I would say extremely unlikely for them to be anywhere near this quality. But as mentioned before, yeah.
This looks like an extreme labor of love from some very, very talented people.
Yep. There are people who have no chill and way too much talent. And that's a scary combination. Oh, wait. Oh, God. I was thinking it was the other attack. All right, this boss is actually like probably the hardest one casually. Please stay away. Please don't jump. Okay, this is... Oh, wait. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Hold up. Only 200 left. We're good. All right, perfect. Oh, Jesus. This boss is actually terrifying. Okay. All right, so we're going to go into phase 2, where now we have a different weapon. So Gunstar Heroes, we have 4 different weapons here. In the original Gunstar, apparently you can combine weapons together. You can't actually do that in this one. And one of them does not get used at all in the run, but is technically useful for one of the levels in the Dice Palace thing, where you're like rolling for your RNG. There's like a couple bosses that benefit from laser. All right. So that is M. Bison done. I mean, it's not M. Bison, but it's M. Bison. This is Smash Daisuku. Yeah, if the boss grabs you, you're dead. So him jumping at you is extremely dangerous. You're right, I probably should have specified that. All right. So right here in this cutscene, the man is like, all right, congratulations, you did all the games. And now you can win the car.
Well enough to win this car.
So there you go, we win the car. But then he invites us backstage to do some paperwork so that we can actually get our car. So we're gonna follow him into his office and then do some paperwork so then we can win the car, now that we're done with the game. And now we're into the backstage of the man, which, as you may expect, is, you know, a little more diabolical than he would otherwise lead you to believe.
Final boss of every important decision, paperwork.
I would much rather fight a final boss than have to do paperwork for it. All right, we got Qbert here. So this final stage is just a ton of references to many different stages in Rapid Fire, or many different games in Rapid Fire. So everything before this was just a game gets an entire stage, and now it's like each screen has a game, maybe even 2 games. So like we had Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, we have Qbert, we had Mario from Mario. This is like really actually terrible RNG, and I'm not sure how to deal with this. This is like maybe the worst I've had on Qbert in a long time. All right, I'm not dead, so okay. Perfect. Not dying is the fastest way to do it. All right, now we've got Opa Opa, the ship from Yakuza. And you can just hold down shoot for auto fire.
Oh, that's cool.
However, my mashing is faster than the auto fire is significantly. So once we get to the boss section of this, I'm just going to mash on my own because, you know, we're doing a speed run here.
While that's happening, I do want to remind everybody that GDQ's next all-women and femme speedrunning event, Flame Fatales, is August 18th through 25th. You can use !FF in Twitch chat to check out the schedule and let us know what you're looking forward to.
I'm not even gonna lie, that was the fastest I've ever killed that.
Dang, I just
that was
completely talked over.
exceptional.
That's awesome.
It's like kind of luck whether or not your shots will go straight through the gaps. So the fact that I killed it that fast is like, it's mostly luck, and it's absurd how fast that was.
This run has been full of amazing moments.
Oh no.
Oh, that is terrifying.
Yeah, Pac-Man RNG is a funny one. Sometimes it doesn't let you live. Yeah, the Yakuza thing is a joke that I like making because it always upsets some people. I'm sorry, I can't resist. All right, now we got Mr. Jack. These will cycle around, and we're just going to work our way around. And once there's one left, they're going to come straight for us. after they do their speeding up. And that's that. Except, I'm really thankful that there's no punishment for falling down because, you know, that would be really upsetting. And there's Bubsy. Kosaku actually drew a version of the kid as Bubsy, which has shiny odds chance of appearing. So there's just an extremely low chance that you could get this horribly cursed version of the kid as Bubsy. I have never had it happen in a run, but I did have a time where I just stood there and spammed the reset button for a while until it showed up. It's pretty cursed.
What could possibly go wrong?
All right, so this final section is, it's in the original I Want to Be the Guy. There's this tower that you get taken up, and it's exactly the same. How are we doing on time now?
Looking at a bit under 45 minutes, I believe.
Let's pet the cat. All right, so there's a cat here. We can pet it a few times.
Oh.
So it's the cat.
I'm allergic, so that's
just
basically what happens when I pet cats, too.
one that I really wanted to be able to show off at GDQ, but ultimately there was no time for that one. So figure I'll show the cat. Funny story, I'm actually also allergic to cats, but I just don't care and I just deal with it because I like cats too much.
Oh, no, same. I will just live on allergy pills if I have to. It's worth it.
Oh, God. All right, so here we are. We're in his office, and then he's like, all right, I'm going to be real. There's no way you're winning that car. And you're like, why not? And it's because he reveals that he's actually the father, the man, the guy. So in the original I Want to Be the Guy, for those who don't know the quote-unquote story, you're the kid, you want to become the guy, so you fight through every single stage and all the different bosses and stuff to take down the guy. And then it turns out the guy is actually your father. He's your dad, and you are one of his many sons, and you need to kill him to become the guy. There's some funny jokes in this game where during the interview, he's like, anything interesting about you? And he's like, well, I killed my own dad once. He was like, no, you didn't. I mean, so, you know, we are now fighting the person who is secretly our dad and not just the game show host, the man, in a shock to everyone.
Man, I just wanted a car.
I know, it's truly tragic that we can't just get our brand new car. The most diabolical thing he could possibly do.
One heck of a down payment.
So this has a Wheel of Misfortune. There are 17 different things that you can spin. 6 of them is all you need to do if you're optimal. We're just going to show this off for fun. I can't resist. So if you go into debt, it can be survived, and I feel the need to show it off because there's a classic run at ESA where the runner actually did not know that you could survive it if you didn't get enough money. So because of that, I just really wanted to show it off. Afterburn and 230. Nice. Nice. All right. So yeah, you ideally you'll only roll half of them, and then the 17th one is the skull, which will always happen once you have taken the boss's HP down to 0. That was actually exceptionally fast because I got like all of the fast ones and none of the slow ones, so that RNG was absurd, and I didn't get any of the hard ones either. So that was genuinely like kind of wild. And since we're good on time, we'll watch this cutscene too. Why not?
Now look what you've done. This place is falling apart. I'm getting out of here. Enjoy your sweet grave.
Oh, Sweet Grave, that's a reference. The classic I Want to Be the Guy song that's like used everywhere is called Home Sweet Grave, which is a song from Guilty Gear because Kane is a big fighting game fan. You know, I wonder what happens if you don't get that. Oh, you just die.
Oh, come on.
I like never missed that, so I had to find out. All right, so this final escape sequence, you are in Opa Opa again, and you are just chasing down the guy, fighting through various things that happen throughout. Those eggplants are like a reference to the original I Want to Be the Guy. There's a secret area. Zangief is a reference to I Want to Be the Farewell. Dumb bugs are a reference to the original I Want to Be the Guy. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on here. But time will be coming up as soon as the weight drops on the man. So time is...
No, not again.
Time. There we go.
GG, that was one heck of a run.
I'm really happy with how that went. Like every single part that could have gone badly did not go badly. So I'm happy about that.
Every time you were like, this is a hard strat, you absolutely nailed it.
And with that, that is all of it. 24 deaths total. And we can take our final cutscene where we get our car.
Finally.
Sorry about all this, kid. We'll take care of it from here. Wait! What about my brand new car? Well, what about this brand new car?
Fine, here are the keys.
That's the car we got.
Oh, okay.
Take it or leave it.
So because it's based on the score, we got the like neutral end. There's a bad end car, which is just a shopping cart. And then there's good end, which is of course the like the sports car that we're supposed to win. And then there's the million, which gives us I don't remember. Oh, it gives us like a sports car. And then there's the brutal mode one, which gives us just a giant mech version of the kid that you see in the Goemon stage. So that is WannaFest 22. An extremely, extremely good game. Just like the devs are so passionate, they're so talented. The thing that they made like blew the community away. And it is my personal favorite game, and it's like way too fun to play, so fun to run, and that's why I've put so much time into it compared to other fan games. It's just like by far my favorite run, and I think it's extremely fun to show off to a casual audience and like, you know, GDQ audience and stuff, because there's so many like fun references and everything. But I appreciate you for having me. I'm glad I was able to have my redemption and accomplish everything that I didn't do properly last time. And if you enjoyed the run and don't know me, hi, I'm Walsk. Feel free to follow me. I mostly am a VTuber, but I just, you know, it kind of comes and goes. But yeah, you can feel free to follow for this game, other games, and various things that I enjoy playing. You should also follow twitch.tv/fangamemarathon to watch more of these. It's a yearly thing. It's not just I Want to Be the Guy stuff. It's tons of different fan communities, much like Parallel Universe. And with that, up next, we're going to have Cosmoing with Justice Guy. And yeah.
Yeah. By the way, if you all missed any of this run, or if you missed the SGDQ run of this game, you can check out the VODs on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. Of course, if you miss any Hotfix content, even if you missed the show from earlier, do all the things with Mr. Shasta, that can speak. That's there too. Again, youtube.com/gamesdonequick. While we take a quick break, go over there and make sure you are subscribed. This is also a great time to stretch your legs, get some water. We will be right back in just a few minutes. Hello everyone, and welcome back to GDQ Hotfix and to Parallel Universe, where the I Want to Be the Guy fan game showcase continues with I Want to Be the Justice Guy by Cosmoing up next. Before we get into that, just a quick reminder, you know, maybe y'all are just joining us, maybe y'all are new to Hotfix, but if you want more info on our weekly shows and weekend specials, you can go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. We have content almost every day. be sure to go and check out what we've got in store. With that said, Cosmoing, show us what we're doing here with I Want to Be the Justice Guy.
What's up, everyone? Cosmo here. Today, well, I mean, you just saw Waltz doing, I'm hoping y'all just saw Waltz doing WannaFest. Fantastic video game. Absolutely love it. We have 3 very, very different fan games for you today. So this is going to be, I Want to Be the Justice Guy. I'm not going to introduce it. I'm just going to get into it. You're going to see why it's very different very quickly. So let's get ready to get into it. I'm just going to start in a few seconds. And we're going to get going in 3, 2, 1, go. So right off the bat, we got a tutorial, and you can see the kid definitely looks maybe a little bit more of a teenager sort of kid. He's an adult now. This is from a different fan game. And there's kind of a lot going on, so I'll take... Menuing error. Classic. So I'll take these first 3 levels to introduce you to some of the main different things that this game has to offer. So right off the bat, you can see this is... there's enemies everywhere. This is a lot more of a... kind of a run-and-gun style game. That's what the authors are really into, the authors of this game. 2 authors, for the record. Influka and Gustav. You might actually know Influka. They're one of the makers behind the I Want to Kill the Camellia series. I think Kill the Camellia 2 was on GDQ a couple of years ago. Oh. That did not go well. Yeah, this is a lot more brutal than WannaFest. A lot of explosions everywhere. A lot of weapon switching. Oh, right, there we go. That's perfect. That's not perfect. How did that happen? The main thing here is I want to get a precise shotgun shot to kill this second guy right behind the homing rocket launcher. The distance is really hard because if you get too close, then obviously you get shot by the homing rocket. If you're too far, then obviously, you miss the shotgun shot. But yeah, so the structure of this game is completely different from what you saw. This is segmented into individual levels. There's 3 platforming levels per world, then a boss, and there's 6 worlds total. So we're going to go to 1, 2 now. And one thing you might have noticed also is there's weapons in this game. So there's the machine gun, which I think is kind of like your bread and butter. It has a lot of range. You can kind of just hold it down. It shreds through like paper enemies. It's perfect for just like taking care of stuff in these platforming levels, basically. The shotgun, that was a bit custom. The shotgun is kind of your big damage dealer. Obviously, you have to get up close and personal to deal damage with it, but it goes through walls. It can hit multiple enemies at once. It does a little bit more damage than the machine gun, not too much, so you don't have to worry about switching between them. But generally, it's a speedrun. We're going to go for the highest damage dealing option, which is going to be the shotgun. And the third one is the rocket launcher. You're not going to see me use this too often. It's a very strange weapon. Basically, enemies sometimes have armor, and the rocket launcher bypasses armor. It does a fixed 30 damage to everything. These helicopters are random. That was actually really nice RNG right there. Oh, take the save. The saves are there for a reason. We definitely want to take as many of them as possible. Try to do a little thing here. I missed it. Yeah, for the most part, the platforming levels are very straightforward. You just kind of go until you reach the end of the level all the way on the right. Sometimes there's these little like arena-style sections. But yeah, as you can see, very, very fast-paced game. We're actually at the end of World 1 already. Platforming levels basically take anywhere between 30 seconds to a minute. And the boss, it's a minute too. You'll see the bosses are really the big awesome thing with this game. Let's check this out. We got Velarum, big old tank. The bosses have a lot of attacks, pretty much always in a random order. So you never really know what you're going to get. It's all about quick reactions. Getting ready to do as much damage as possible at any moment. Let's see what he gives us next. Oh, that's same attack twice in a row is a bit anticlimactic when I say we got a random order, but hey, we're just about at the end of this boss. Now he's going to go into his final attack. He's going to keep doing this until he's done and dusted. A bit scary. We got to like dodge the sparks, and boom. Yeah, big old claw tank. So that stage 1 is kind of a perfect preview of what you can expect from this game. Just lots of action, it's non-stop with this game. Well, except for the 10 seconds between levels, but other than that, it's completely non-stop. We're on a world 2. Probably one of the scarier run worlds in a speedrun. A couple segments that have some pretty tough jumps, or like some weird enemy RNG can cause some problems sometimes. I'm gonna take the safety save down here. I don't normally take this, but this particular jump right here, yeah, that's a really, really tough jump. I don't actually know how much leeway you have to do it. I'm not a big frame counter sort of guy, but I'm sure it's like really, really precise. There we go. I say one more use of the rocket launcher, actually, which is the main reason you'll see me pull it out in these platforming sections, is it kind of just kills most enemies in one shot. So that's really useful for some of like the, the rocket launchers, the smaller tanks. If I want to just get rid of something really quickly, I'll just switch to the rocket launcher really quick, pop a rocket out, switch back to the machine gun or whatever I need. Also, something that, I mean, it's kind of been there from the start of the game, but obviously you don't have to beat every enemy to get through a save. You just have to, you just have to get to the next save. So a lot of times I'll just be running past a lot of enemies. Fine, they're not dangerous, for the most part. Little arena section here. Even though we kill all the enemies, we're actually stuck here until the timer runs out. So there's no reason to really rush anything. This black smoke, as your parents would tell you, smoke kills, don't smoke. And don't touch black smoke either. Don't breathe this.
Sliding past all those enemies and just leaving them standing there is quite humorous to me.
Honestly, it's one of my favorite things in the speedrun. They really just don't know what to do. The opening of 2 here, we're going to try to run past a lot of enemies, maybe to our detriment. Sometimes this doesn't work out very well. I think I managed to get all the enemies with a shotgun shot there, so that's fantastic. One of the least consistent saves in the game right there. Oh yeah, these blue things, I kind of forgot to mention, they were in the tutorial, but these are jump refreshers. I actually don't think there's a single jump refresher in WannaFest, but they're actually in quite a lot of I Wanna Be the Guy fan games. It's a pretty simple concept. Basically, the kid has 2 jumps. I forgot to reset there, so I got destroyed by an off-screen rocket launcher that I spawned earlier. But basically, the kid has 2 jumps. Your regular jump on the ground and a jump in midair. And a jump refresher just gives you your double jump back. More jumps. Once again, the enemies just confused as to where I've disappeared all of a sudden. Now heading into the second boss of the game, and honestly, one of the least consistent ones, mostly just because of the final attack. Got some cheeky shots in right at the start. This boss is not too random compared to the first one. It's kind of a preset. Like, basically, at the start, he has one of 2 attacks he can do there. He chose to do the one I don't want to see twice. And then now, at half HP, he's going to go off screen, do a scripted attack. We'll try to take that time to get rid of these guys. Just dodge that real quick, and then he's going to do more attacks. Now, roughly 550 HP, he's going to do something different. I'm going to wait here a little bit. I want to see a special attack. Oh, no, okay, we're into the final attack. That was bad. So now I just have to live while shooting my shotgun at this big old blimper. And I'm going to have to live for this, quite a while. Okay, that went well. Okay, that is not how I want to do that attack at all. Ideally, you want to take, because he gets a bit of armor when that attack starts, so your shotgun does a bit less damage. So what you want to do is get a longer attack right before you reach the HP threshold, do a bunch of damage, then you don't have to do all of this missile dodging. That's one of the hardest attacks in the game for me, so I'm glad that worked out.
I was just thinking, you have to react so fast to those and just process what's happening so quickly. That would be so difficult for me too.
Oh yeah, no, this game in particular is super about fast reactions. Let's see how the skip goes. Yeah, that went well, actually. Put a little save skip there. It's not too big. Actually, I think this particular level is maybe one of the most broken platforming levels in the game. There's a lot of, because it's all about downwards movement. You can take a lot of like really weird jumps to save a bunch of time there. I took probably the simplest skip there. Oh yeah, if you're maybe a bit nauseous with screen shake, this is maybe not the run for you. The screen is, the explosions are going everywhere. The screen's all over the place. It is kind of just pure adrenaline action video game. Raid 2 is also one of the least consistent levels in the game, mostly because of all these like enemies not behaving the way I want them to. But past the first save is pretty good. You basically meet these lobsters here. These lobsters love to just charge at you. There's crocodiles. These flowers don't actually hurt you, but they do shoot out like seeds. Those seeds hurt you. And time for the single underwater level in the game. 29 seconds is fantastic. This one's been going well so far. I'm just saying that to jinx myself. Now I'm going to make like a lot of mistakes.
Nah, you got this.
I'm sure it'll be fine. All right, the only underwater level in the game, you're going to not see a lot of this level. You're going to see why you're not going to see it pretty soon. I want to get rid of this lobster. Love these jellyfish that spawn more jellyfish. And this is where you're not going to see a lot. We've got these big octopus tentacles. They love covering the screen. It's not a problem for me, but it is a bit of a shame. That doesn't mean you have to basically play this entire level, just big ink splatter in the middle. Even if you get rid of the octopus tentacle, it still stays there. And now for the jellyfish surprise, which everyone's favorite meal, the red lobster. And we're out. Have you found a way to make boss 5 consistent? I am so sorry to say, no, not at all. No, I'm going to explain that when I get to boss 5, but it is by far the least consistent section of the game. Here's Balanium. All of these bosses have 2 names. Basically, there's like someone piloting the robot, but I don't remember any of their names. The name you're seeing on screen is the name of the robot itself. Kind of cool names, honestly. I do enjoy silly names. And Balanium is unique and it has 2 phases, actually. I think it's probably the only boss in the game with like 2 phases in one boss sort of deal. Once you reach 834 HP right now, it's going to go underwater. We're triggered to the second part. I'm going to start counting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's my cue to go hide. 2, 3, 4, 5. It depends on the attack, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So far, so good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I swear this boss has different attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and big laser, but you're not going to get to see any of it. That's ideal. There's one attack on that boss. He shoots a bunch of like homing rockets at you. That's the only attack I don't want to see. It's hard to get up close and personal with the boss when he's doing that. All right, that's basically the halfway point of the game, if you exclude the final boss, which I am for purposes of making this simple. And here's the canal. This is a really interesting level because it's supposed to be a stealth level. You're not going to see any of stealthing going on whatsoever. There's even like I don't remember which button to press to make it appear. That's how little I've used the stealth function in this level. Please take the rocket. Whoa, okay, something didn't go right. But there's a button you can press, and you like spawn a box, Metal Gear Solid style. And you can like sort of dodge these cameras. So the little noise you keep hearing, that's the cameras spotting me, and then they shoot at me because they're angry that I'm in the level. No, but you can like put on your box and they won't spot you. But obviously, putting on a box, right, and then just sitting there and waiting for things to pass by you, that's not fast. That's not speedrun. It's much faster to just run by everything. which you are absolutely going to see right here. Check out the start of this level. Camera, enemy, enemy. No. Don't want to do any of that. Goodbye. Here's another fun property of the rocket. So I just shot 2 rockets really far off screen. Oh. So rockets don't actually have a distance at which they'll like despawn. They will just keep going until they hit an enemy. And there's actually 2 snipers in this big tunnel right here. So the sniper is also a funny enemy because they're always active. They're just waiting for you to get in their range to shoot you. So I get to just like shoot rockets from super far off screen and take care of 2 snipers before they're even a problem. And here there's cameras at the top of the screen. So I'm just going to stay low, dodge the smoke, dodge the camera. All's good. In a speedrun, this is actually probably the easiest world, I want to say, as long as you're excluding the boss. The boss is really special, but the platforming is really... I'd say it's the easiest stage, at least. Here's green water. As you may know from real life, green water is bad. You don't want to touch green water. But if it's transparent, that's fine. I don't know the rules. Hey, there's like an arena going on down here. A whole bunch of enemies are going to spawn in, but I mean, I'm up here, so what are they going to do about it? That's right, nothing. All right, here's the only hard save in this entire world, basically. You need like a precise jump right here to dodge the sniper up top and get past the smoke. There. And I think this is probably, I don't know if this is not the most famous boss in this game, but I think it's probably my favorite boss in this game. And I think I love showing off this boss, and I want to show off this game. This is X1 and X2. So this is 2 bosses at once, and they spawn a lot of enemies, and it's basically just pure chaos. If chaos was a boss fight, I think this is what it would be. So we got...
I was going to say, this just started, and it already looks ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. So the main thing we're going to be doing is trying to, like, manage the enemies as much as possible. You can see there's a whole bunch of foot soldiers coming in, like, basically every, like, couple of seconds. If you leave them on screen, they'll start shooting at you. That becomes a problem. I don't want that. Tanks coming in is a super priority. You never want to leave a tank alive for too long. And at low HP, the sniper at the top left comes in. Oh, that was way bad. Some combinations of attacks are pretty rude. You don't want to see that too much. That was definitely one of them. Oh, really? Okay. But yeah, basically just constant enemy management. And also it's a speedrun, so you're trying to optimize damage. So we're getting some cheeky shotgun shots sometimes when the red guy spawns in the second floor. I actually lost complete control of everything there. I could have saved that, but I was so confused by everything that happened. Alright. It's worth noting that weapons also have a global cooldown. So for example, like after I shoot a rocket, I can't fire a weapon again for another second or so. You can use weapon switching to like advantage, like doing a machine gun into a different weapon will always work because the machine gun has no cooldown. But a shotgun or a rocket launcher into the machine gun will not necessarily work to your advantage. Back to sniper. Perfect. Yeah, usually I keep an eye on the HP there, and once the shotgun generally does 50 damage to unshielded enemies. Or it's like enemies without any sort of defense. So if I ever see like it's below 50, I'm just gonna go straight ahead and like do a risky jump or whatever I need to get the final shot in. On to World 5. This introduces the green refresher. I guess it's not much of a refresher, but it's the green pickup. It makes you dash for a short period of time. When you dash, you don't even need to shoot your machine gun. You become the enemy slaughtering machine yourself. I can just dash through these smaller enemies. I do keep my rocket launcher out for the shotgun, the tank. Very nice, serene world. These blue crystals teleport you to predetermined locations. The symbols of freedom are here. That's right, it's the rocket launcher, not the Eagle. I think this is the world in which I'll be using the rocket launcher the most. Just in general, a lot of enemies in this particular world are going to be like very tanky, so it's great to just rocket launcher, get rid of what you need to get rid of. And this is one of the final arena style sections in the game as well, this one. I'm going to ignore this little enemy, just bait it into shooting away from us. And I think this is also one of the few levels in the game with 2 paths. You can take this crystal here or skip it and take another crystal. And then there's like a top or bottom path. I had the rocket launcher out. I was supposed to have the shotgun out, and that is a whoopsie. Let's do that again, but this time we're going to have the proper weapon out. There we go. That's what's supposed to happen. These blue crystals are also funny. They keep, they're basically like bobbing up and down. That actually matters. Sometimes you need to slide under these crystals. And if they're like bobbing and they're like low on their bob animation, you actually cannot slide under them. And that's completely random. I have no control over them. So I'll just come up to a crystal and I'll see if I can slide under it or not. And if I can't, well, we're just going to be sitting ducks for a couple seconds. It's kind of like an auto scroller, except it's like an auto object, I guess. Well, it's called a cycle. I forgot the name. It's a cycle. I love this level. This particular save is really fun to watch. Well, it's really fun. I don't know if it's fun to watch, but it's really fun to play at least. I like really tricky jumps to dodge homing missiles. I think this level also has a couple pathways through it. It's kind of like built like a maze, so I assume it has. Say hello to the big slug.
Hello, big slug.
The big slug shows up twice in this game. It has a lot of health. Like a lot of health. Sadly,
Lion, that slug sure can do.
Oh yeah. Sadly, you will not be seeing the second time the slug shows up. I'm going to be taking a different path through that level. But we do love the big slug. As opposed to the small slug, which you will now see, because we're entering Boss 5. And you might have seen Denfrog post in the chat earlier about Boss 5. Boss 5 is... It can be a mess. If it goes really well, I'll be happy, but his name is Snail Bro. I call him Slug. But, I mean, we all have our own names. So here's Boss 5. It's Devilon. It might show the icon of the witch. It's not the witch. The Devilon is the tree, actually. And right off the bat, we're greeted with some bad energy. So here's the slug. It's the small slug. We don't like the small slug at all. The small slug is a problem because he introduces a third element of randomness in this boss. Basically, you got the witch. The witch is attacking. And you got the boss. The tree. The tree is the boss. So the boss is also attacking. And they're both attacking at completely different speeds, and sometimes their overlaps are just the worst. And then the slug can sometimes come in, like it's doing right now, and cause a third element of randomness. And I have to deal with potentially 3 overlapping attacks, and it's just horrible. So the last thing we want to see is the slug. We don't want to see the slug. Otherwise, I'll be focusing my damage on the witch. The witch has like her own little health bar you can see in the top middle. It's like the little purple one. Whenever it hits 0, the witch is stunned for a while and also does like 900 damage to the boss. I prefer that over actually damaging the boss. That was dodgeable. Yeah, it's easier to damage the witch to the boss because the witch obviously moves around a lot. You can do shotgun shots on her, whereas you can only use the machine gun or the rocket to damage the tree. So it is preferred to take down the witch, at least in my opinion. I think some of the runners have different strategies for this. Anything to like make it more consistent, basically. A little bit of damage to the tree there. And so the goal is to do 300 damage. Oh, really? That was an insane bounce. Oh, come on, I keep hitting the slugs. Alright. Come on, Slug. It's you and me. Oops. You do have the teleporter, which you do need to dodge one specific attack, but it can also get you out of some really sticky situations if you can think to use it. Like this particular, you do need to use the teleporter here to dodge this fish sort of attack. All right, a little bit of damage on the tree. Back to damaging the witch. There's a slug coming out. If you see the tree not doing anything for a while, you can kind of like just plant it in your head. There's a slug coming out. You just got to be ready to see that little arrow pop on the side and say, yep, there's a slug coming. So as annoying as it is to dodge both the witch and the tree at the same time, it's actually preferred to dodge both of them at the same time, because if you're not dodging the tree, like I'm not dodging the tree right now, and then there's a slug coming, then I have to dodge 3 things after that, and it's just... Where's that slug? Oh, God. I'm trying not to hit the witch there, because if I hit the witch, the teleporters are going to switch. Go to the slug first. All right, witch down. One more shot. No slug, please. Nothing bad could possibly happen. I was about to teleport, and I looked over on the right, and I saw there was something blocking my exit of the teleporter. That is really I'm not going to say the beauty. It's the problem with this boss. Having 2 things attacking at the same time it makes for some great moments sometimes, but other times it just causes too much mayhem.
Yeah, it does seem like there are some situations where you just kind of run out of options.
Yeah, I like that one. That was unfortunate. I basically put the boss down past a certain HP threshold, so the teleporters switched side, but the fish was coming out of the wrong side. I have a little elbow grease and this boss will go down, no problem. Maybe not, but this boss will be going down with problem then. One way or the other, this boss is going down.
I was just about to say, with or without problem, it'll happen.
Did I just see the tree spawn 2 slugs back to back? Come on. Give me a break. Actually, I don't even think that's possible, so I probably saw it wrong. I'm going to take a second here and do some damage to the tree itself. Oh, that great. Alright, a little bit more damage. Alright, last shot. It's me versus you, witch. Beautiful. There we go.
Nice. Well done.
That's problematic boss number 1 down. That is actually the true problem boss. The other boss is just a skill check. You really gotta like have your reactions ready to go, but this one is... Even with the best possible reactions, sometimes it's not gonna happen. Here's the final platforming stage in the game. It's kind of a big mix of everything we've seen so far. Not too much new here. When I jump at the jump refresher, I would like it to refresh my jump. It's a nice rhyme for... Right, I forgot to use the shotgun. Little dude manning the turret. Beautiful song in the background. As we run past just more enemies than ever before. Good sequence of the helicopter. A little dance we're gonna do right here to just get past all these snipers. I don't think I ever talked about these red refreshers, because I think this is like the first stage where they're really used. Even though they're shown in the tutorial. Red refreshers are like the blue refreshers, where they give you a really, really big jump. That's really the only distinction. A little dash to the finish. You know, there is a jump refresher in WannaFest. Wolsk is true. It's in the Parappa stage. You have to rhyme refresh your jump. I forgot about that.
Oh, that's a good bit.
I also totally forgot to mention, I missed the save there, whoops. But the grading system you see at the end of the levels each time, it's mostly death based, or well, I guess it's both. It's based on the number of deaths you take and the time you take. You get anywhere from like an S to I think the worst score is an E. I'm actually not sure. It's been a while since I've actually messed up pretty badly. Here's probably the most random section in this game. These 3 helicopters make a comeback from stage 1, but I can't shotgun them down. I have to use the rocket launcher to actually take them down. And they move slightly faster than I can shoot my rockets, so...
I was gonna say, they look like they can break your ankles a bit there.
Oh, absolutely. That section is not about me shooting the rockets onto them, it's about them running into the rockets that I shoot. Here's a save directed by Michael Bay. I don't know why everything's exploding here. Once again, we're just going to ignore all the enemies here, though. No biggie. And just like that, we're actually at the final platforming level of the game now. It's actually not much of a platforming level, too. Half of it's an auto-scroller, which you'll see right here. Well, not right here, actually, because it's the second half. Whereas you gotta not go on the path of the big slug. I'm pretty sure the big slug spawns up there if you take the top path, but yeah, the big slug has a lot of health. I like them, but like it's not speedrun friendly. Here is just as many enemies as possible, which I'm not gonna shoot any of them. And here's the auto scroller. Remember, everyone, if you're ever on a truck and missiles, like with enemies right on them, if that's ever a situation you're in, just stay at the back of the truck. That's the safe spot.
Important survival tips.
And this particular mini-boss encounter takes 5 rockets to deal with. That was number 5. There's some attacks you can get where you can't shoot anything at it. But we just gotta bide our time there. Actually, it does remind me, there's a 4th weapon in this game I didn't talk about. It's the first weapon, actually. It's the pistol. The pistol is actually not bad. It actually does a decent amount of damage. It's just never better than anything else, so we absolutely never use it. If there was one place to use it, it actually can be used in this little mini-boss section here. Right, here's some human bosses. Here's Gottfried. Gottfried is a bit weird. I don't know why, but he takes less damage from everything compared to other bosses. And he's also kind of always in the fog. That's kind of the main gimmick behind this fight is, as it goes on, it's going to be a lot harder to see the kid. I'm just going to have to rely on knowing where I am at all times. I was really hoping that was going to go over me. That was a bad combo. I jump there so I can actually see where I am. He's going to go into his super attack right now. I'm going to spam rockets and just run as far away from him as possible so we can actually have some space to dodge. One more rocket will do it. That was actually really good RNG. The HP threshold at which it can start the final attack is it's very, because he always starts the final attack between attacks, so it's very random the point at which he'll start. We got a lot of damage in before he started the final attack. That was really good. That was really, really fast, honestly. Now, no more platforming, so it's time for the 2 final bosses. And here's phase 1 of the 2 final bosses. This is Deus and Lena. This is, I think, what the game is most known for. This boss is like just like a couple levels in difficulty above everything else. So Deus represents Gustav, one of the makers of this game. And the other one you see out there is Lena, representing Influka, the other maker of this game. We're going to take care of Deus first in this phase 1, because Deus has a lot of like hard reaction-based fights, including the hardest attack in this game coming right up right here. full focus so I can dodge this. Okay. How did not mess up the rest of the... That's the beauty of it. So that attack, it's basically... Once the boss reaches, I think it's half HP, it'll do a special attack. And it's basically, it's always a 50-50. It'll either spawn a laser above you or a laser where you are and you need to like react to it properly. It's really, really hard. It gets really fast. So let's do it again. No problem. I'm in good focus tonight. Now, let's just get rid of Deus so he can't possibly screw our life again. Perfect. Now it's time for Lena. Lena is also a bit of a troublemaker, but it's a very different kind of trouble. Lena is all about like it's not really about quick reactions, it's about positioning yourself very well. She also can control times. We're gonna like be playing a bit faster here. But generally she's a lot less troublesome than Deus, which is why basically everyone leaves her for the second half of this fight. If you wanted to, you could start with Lena, though. It is a 50-50 when you start the boss, which when you get so you can just start over and over again. As we get lower into this boss, something really funny is about to happen. I'm going to start hitting keys. I missed one. That's a silly mistake. I thought I saw three times there. Very silly mistake. Yeah, at a low health, Lena will just hit you with, it's time to start hitting keys. And you have a set amount of time to hit, I think it's like 20 keys or something. And if you don't, well, it's game over, as you just saw. Or if you miss one, it's game over. Well, let's just dodge this for a third time, no problem. See, just like I said, no problem.
How's that? Ridiculous.
This boss, I will say this, when I come back to this game, what I like doing the most is just playing this boss over and over again. Because again, most of this game's bosses are super replayable, because again, all the attacks are random.
This looks extremely satisfying to get right.
Oh yeah. Now people, I think probably the average time spent on this boss on your first playthrough is like probably a couple dozen hours, right? And it's really long. There's a lot to learn, a lot to mess up. Obviously, you can always just die in one hit, so. But I mean, people come out of this fight and they just say they absolutely love it every time. Here we go. Beautiful. Just a couple more rockets and we'll be moving on to phase boss, phase 2. Let's just dodge these butterflies. All right, and now it's time for, honestly, the easier part. Now Deus and Lena are sitting here combined. So they'll attack in turns, basically. Deus will go, then Lena will go, then Deus will go. And they both have completely different timings from phase 1. Basically every attack is buffed here. Our goal is really simple. We're going to be hard focusing on Deus. Because even though it says they have a combined health bar, their health bar is actually still individual. Can you shoot during the number section? You can, yes. I only shoot if there's a rocket, though, so I need to hit a 4 here. Oh, that was the wrong timing. Oops. So what you just saw there, I think a big part of the reason why this boss is so well known is after I do 1,000 damage to the boss, I'm going to be hit with an intermission. And after I do 2,000 damage, I'm going to get 2 intermissions back to back. and there's 18 possible intermissions it can choose from, which is just an insane amount to... I was a bit of a corner problem there. So it's a lot of intermissions it can possibly choose from. Oh god. That's all good. So on a first playthrough, obviously you have so much to learn before you can even have a chance at a kill. On subsequent playthroughs, it becomes a lot of fun to just deal with whatever comes your way. Again, we're just hard focusing on Deus. Basically, both of these, again, they have individual health bars. Just dodge this real quick. This is a Crab Mecha 1, as I like to call him. All of these bosses are from previous games by the authors. Either the I Want to Take the Time Machine series or the I Want to Be the Best Guy series. Basically completely like remade for little intermissions. So they all have names. I just don't know any of them. So it's easy to just make up names on the spot. So that's Crab Mecha 1. And so we're hard focusing Deus to get this attack specifically. This is the second Deus super attack in this fight. And once you have a strat down for this attack, it's actually really easy to dodge while doing a ton of damage on Lena, who still is taking full damage from my shotgun shots. So I'm going to be doing like 1,000 damage to the boss here. And I've already hit the HP cap. So at 500, you can't do any more damage. You just have to wait for the boss to hit its final section. Here is Perfect Man. Not very perfect to me, but... Oh god, Sword Guy. Sword Guy's one of the hardest ones for me. Please, thank you. Yeah. Tight jump there. Alright, perfect. So now we're going to see one more Deus attack. This is a random attack. Try to stay far away from him. That's the joystick wiggle. Alright, and this is the Deus, the Lena super attack too. So this is entirely controllable, what you're seeing right here. Which is why I'm not scared of it at all. If I do the same inputs every time, I'll get the same thing every time, so it's pretty easy to dodge. On your first playthrough, it's a nightmare, but... Now here is the final attack, which I get to do damage again. So now you get 3 things going on at once. You got the explosions on the floor, you got the lasers, and you got big bullets coming from the ceiling. Actually doing shotgun damage here is really great for dodging everything as well, and that is going to do it. Time is going to come up in roughly 30 seconds. Whew. How could I do this? I'm going to say a bit more about this game later, because what you just saw of the game is actually a very small portion of the full game. Even though that was an amazing amount of content that we just saw. Time's coming up when the credits fade in. Time. Oh, that went well. But other than
That was absolutely wild.
the spots that don't usually go well didn't go well. But I mean, that's how it is, you know. I forget, what even was that? It was probably like a I-30, I guess. Oh, 42. Yeah, that's honestly expected. I kind of wanted to put a 45 estimate, but a 40 felt more accurate. We could just blame Boss 5. It's always Boss 5's fault. So yeah, if you want to actually play this game and you're like a bit turned off by the high difficulty, I mean, if you're into the high difficulty, go ahead, give it a shot. Again, the game is free, absolutely a blast. But if you're like really into this high action, but you're not into the high difficulty, this game has an angel mode built in from the very start, which will give you, I think it's 3 HP per platforming save and 5 HP per boss. So it's a lot more lenient. You can have a lot more sort of leeway to learn the boss attacks and whatnot. I would absolutely recommend checking this game out, because again, what you just saw of the game, this is the first third of the game. It's 33% of the game. There's actually so much more to this game. I think there's like 30 more bosses or something, if I count correctly. I think it's 29 more bosses in the game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is a very, very boss-focused game. It's you basically saw all the platforming in the game. The rest of the game is just, it's all bosses. So if you're into that, absolutely do check this game out. I highly recommend it. if you enjoyed my presence, do check me out on YouTube. Nowadays I mostly actually play Mega Man games, and soon to be Mega Man fan games as well. So,
Hey, you know, we should have some Mega Man fan games on this show sometime.
well, hit me up in like, I don't know, 6 months or something. I'll see what I got. There's definitely the Mega Man fan game community definitely has a lot of really interesting stuff.
Yeah, that's something I need to tap into. Hey, Mega Man people, if y'all want to play some fan games, hit me up. Yeah, thank you so much for this. This was phenomenal. Your ability to play a game as difficult as this one and commentate the whole time is extremely impressive.
That's a lot of fun. I've played this so many times by now. I just know it like the back of my hand. I'm so glad for the opportunity to show this game to a wider audience. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, so thank you very much for having me on.
Of course, thank you for being here. We are going to take one more break before we get into our final run of the evening. While we are taking this break, if you have not yet joined the official GDQ Discord, I highly recommend you do so. You can also add the Hotfix role, and with that role, you can keep tabs on our upcoming Hotfix events, talk with showrunners, and of course other GDQ staff, and more. Of course, use !Discord and Twitch chat. Get yourself in there. Get yourself that Hotfix role. In the meantime, we're going to take one more break before we get into I Want to Escape Into My Mind, which is coming up next. So we will see you all very shortly. Hello, everyone, and welcome back for the final time tonight to Parallel Universe, where we have one more I Want to Be the Guy fan game before you. But before we get into that, I just want to remind everybody that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games on Quick Hotfix. So if you're enjoying the content, if you enjoy the special events on weekends, if you enjoy the near daily content during the week, please consider subscribing to the channel to support us. With that said, let's get into the last fan game I have lined up for you all. I Want to Escape Into My Mind. Eva, take it away.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am Eva. This is I Want to Escape Into My Mind. And here with me, I have actually the maker of this game, Jane Chef. This game's going to start with a little cutscene. So I think that's a good opportunity to get things going. So I'm going to hop in the warp in 3, 2, 1, in. All right. In this game, we'll be taking the role of one of many kids. And we will try to reach the center of this manifestation of our mind fortress.
Yeah. So this game is basically it's a personal game. It's a game about identity, about becoming the person you want to be. It's a game I think can resonate to a lot of people.
Yeah, that's kind of why I really, really like it. It's very serious at times, but also not afraid to be silly at other times. So this is a really fun run through the whole runtime. We're going to start with a little bit of an introductory section that just kind of teaches you how to control the kid if you're not sure how to do that.
A little basic intro to the game.
Hop right into stage 1. Stages will usually consist of a couple of smaller sub-stages and then a boss.
Each sub-stage has like 5 levels.
It's also very cycle-based. This game has lots and lots of cycles.
And
it's
a fun way to do things. So this first level is quite simple. It just has these cannons, and it has these little smileys which add elements to the level when picked up. And here's a lot of skips you can do where these rotating spikes, if you aim your jumps well enough, you can sort of slip by and skip small portions of the stage, and that's a very nice little way to skip things.
Whoops. Another really nice way to go fast here is to not kill enemies if you can avoid it. Or, I forgot what to do here. Either kill them as you're going from place to place, or not kill them at all.
You can do an awesome pacifist route in this game. And this first little space level is a fun one.
Like here, I'm going to duck under this one and then shoot it as I'm walking, so I'm not losing much time to killing that thing. And stuff like that is really fun optimizations. Very fun to like hunt those out.
Exactly. And here comes the big cannon. You can't shoot it, but it shoots a lot of large bullets. Now we go to a less calm area. This is the glitch area, which has these like bars of glitched graphics that you have to dodge. And yeah, they can go various ways, and they can be a little tough to dodge sometimes.
That was Type Cycle that I miss a lot. Not a huge deal.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
Well, it's not that tough. It is the first level after all. And here's these little mouths which shoot these like lagging sort of like glitch shots.
This game has lots of mouths. It's awesome.
Yeah, mouths, eyes. There's like there's several faces worth of eyes and mouths in this game. No noses though.
No, it doesn't work. Here we're gonna meet our first friend, because usually when you go on a journey of introspection and discovery, you're gonna meet many friends along the way. And our first friend we're gonna
friends, foes, unlikely characters.
This guy goes by many names. Mostly the Contrarian Cherry or the Critical Cranberry, and he usually disagrees with what you say.
Yeah. He's like the fan game guy, but also he hates all fan games, so watch out. Alright, so this little substage is based on a specific genre of fan game known as the medley genre, which takes screens from existing games and mashes them up in one game. However, in this one, the games are kind of different. They're called different things. The first screen is based off one of the classic precision games, which is I Want to Conquer the Blow game. The other screen was based on I Want to Be the Fan game, one of the first ever fan games. This screen is I Want to Enjoy the Game, and then this screen is from quite an obscure, strange little fan game called Straight Outta Compton. So this one is just called Straight Outta Wisconsin because we take it a level above.
Oh yeah.
And then the next screen is based on I Want to Kill the Guy, but it's I Don't Want to Kill the Guy because he is very nice.
All of them have really silly, cute little names.
Yeah, we love to have fun.
That's something you're gonna see a lot in this one. We love having fun. Speaking of, here's the first boss.
Yeah.
It's the famous antagonist of Kill the Guy, Computer.
Yeah, this is what he looks like in that game.
But he has a strong antivirus, so he's not gonna try to kill us or anything. Oh, rats! Our antivirus is expired. Well,
oh no!
Gosh darn it!
This boss has some dodging phases and some attacking phases. I'm gonna try to kill him in 2 attacking phases. I'm not gonna optimal RNG there, but it's still be fine.
Yeah. Oh, you're getting it.
No, that was pretty horrible, but
you did good with that. The next dodging phase is like easier. There's the one with the destroyer bars coming after you, and then there's one with some more basic dodgeable bullets.
I'm sorry. It's the destroyer ones is a lot harder because you're forced to jump all the time, and when you jump, it's harder to keep shooting.
Yeah. You have to make a strategy where you don't need to move back.
I am only getting 3 highs, which means I can't do fast damage at all, so now I'm forced. That is really bad. That means I'm forced to get the free cycle.
Ah, that's a shame.
I use my shoot button and my jump button on the same hand, meaning I can shoot usually when I'm playing bosses, I use 2 fingers. Oh my gosh, I'm really sorry. I don't know what's happening. I use 2 fingers to alternate on my shoot button. So I can deal with it faster. But if I need to use 1 finger for jumping, I'm getting horrible RNG. Can this please stop? Is it only boss 1? Please stop.
Yeah. As opposed to the game previously played, this game has lasers right off the bat. Here comes the destroyers.
It should be doable. If I can just
you can 2-cycle that. And of course, because this is an antivirus, he has an attack where he destroys viruses. That's what a computer virus looks like. A computer virus is just like the Dr. Mario viruses. If you get a computer virus, you have little virus guys show up on your desktop, and it's scary. Alright.
What does destroyer mean?
Nice. Well, it means someone who destroys.
I see. All right, thank you. Thank you for that insight.
At dictionary.
Thank you for wanting to be my dictionary.
Yeah, I always love giving word definitions.
There we go.
Let's go.
I'm a little sad. I was never gone that bad in my whole life, but that's okay. Because that was only the warm-up boss, because this is actually the first boss of the game.
Yeah, the first boss we're about to see right now. The Contrarian Cherry, he's quite powerful. He has some strong opinions and even stronger attacks.
Yeah. He mostly fights with his opinions, though. Unfortunately, the kid doesn't care about them, so...
Yeah.
That is stage
nice. Yeah.
Which was familiarity. And what comes after familiarity?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Just a little basic screen transition.
Flip over banana peel into...
Yeah. Now the first level was a bit basic platforming. Now this is where the game gets more, I guess, symbolic.
These are like messed up graphics of one of Chain's earlier games, which is also a very, very good game that I would highly recommend playing. It's called Chungo's Gauntlet.
Yeah. I was like, that was fun to use. Also, this cutscene features basically just features lyrics from a Machine Girl song.
It features the entire song,
quote unquote lyrics. Yeah, it's more or less the entire song, and I say lyrics like in quote unquote lyrics because it's sampled from like a movie. All right, so here is the drinking gimmick. The more you drink, the more this filter shows up, which blocks your view mainly of platforms and spikes. But the ghosts and windows are still going to be visible. And you need to collect all the bottles to get past the bottle blocks that are blocking the exit.
Pretty cool how you can use the windows to actually determine where the spikes are by remembering their position. Relative.
That was a challenging part in making this level, making it apparent that the windows are in fact hints as to where things are. All right, and here's the avoidance of the beer avoidance, where you gotta avoid these beer bottles. You can drink about 6 before your vision goes entirely blind, and you need your vision for that platforming section afterwards. This is a good song called "Drinking with the Jocks." It's a song that's made by a cool artist called Against Me, which I highly recommend listening to. Here comes a part that tricks. Yeah, if you happen to die to that part, that's just unfortunate. Luckily, it's not that long of a section, and you can learn these attacks pretty easily. And again, you have 6 drinking health. As I like to call it. You have an endurance of 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it as slow as possible.
What is this, a slow run?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Alright. And here's the blue stage. We're stripping things back down to the bare essentials.
Oops.
It's the void, and it's devoid of color besides this blue.
And it's very hard. Oh my heavens! It's very hard to deal with enemies because, as you can see, their bullets kind of warp around the screen. They don't go in a straight line.
Yeah, like the bullets. Yeah, the bullets moving like jittery, like an old Atari game. Like that's not just a visual; they really do move like that, and that is really hard to sort of account for. So this sub-level can be a little learny at times because you have to get used to how things move.
Yeah, they also sway to the bottom and the top with random increments, so they can be completely out of the way position sometimes if they're not going to be ready for it.
Yeah, they aren't completely random, though. They do go between going up and going down. They switch a little bit in like waves.
The rocks also like a random sway to them.
Yeah, I tried to make it some balanced RNG because it can be. I didn't want to make it completely random because I do care. Believe it or not, I care about speedrunners. And yeah, here's these spike enemies. They're actually an enemy from the original I Want to Be the Guy, but sort of changed a little bit to fit with this level's style. The hungry spikes enemy. And here comes the stage where you can't kill these. The climb. And oh my gosh.
There's two. We really need to go to the left.
There's two of them. And I'm being asked if I ever experimented with the kid moving in like this jittery fashion, and I actually didn't because that was kind of not something I'd done before, and this stage is already different from how I envisioned it, so I didn't get too experimental with it. Besides the jittering movement of the bullets. Originally, this level was going to be a sort of stage where there was like RPG encounters where you had to do a mini game when touching enemies, and that just was a bit hard for me to decide how to do that. So I sort of dropped the idea. Now here comes the first transformation.
It's one of the coolest stages in the whole game. This one is super fun to go through. Based
a Void Kid.
Based on a little game called Void Stranger.
No.
Wait, what do you mean?
It's called Post Void.
Why did I say that? That's just entirely not true. It's YouTube there.
It's based on Post Void, which is a really nice game that I would really recommend playing. It's a arcade shooter where you run through hallways and shoot various enemies with different weapons, and you have to run fast, kind of like you have here, because in this one there's a void chasing you. And yeah, so this is the final substage of the void, where you embrace the void and become a true action man, because that's the only seemingly valid way of life here so far. At least.
Action hero.
Yeah. You just gotta run through the hallways of this and shoot these suits, these crazy bugs.
And it's the best to do it while you're moving anyway to kill stuff and not really stop for it if you can avoid it. One of the exceptions is this guy, because it's really hard to avoid. This little guy sneakily is probably going to kill you in your first playthrough there.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't see that guy.
Now this is a level that's like specifically made to be speedrun because it's based on a game that you have to play by playing really fast.
Yeah.
So I made sure to make this level fun to play if you like to play things just fast. And I mean, there's also the void chasing you from behind, so it encourages you to play fast.
A little skip there. It's not a jump you're intended to do. And then we're going to kill 8 enemies at once. Again, a really loud crunch. I love that.
Yeah. And here's the second boss, which is not from Post Void. It's actually from the game version. It's Princess Nahima, and she doesn't want to date you because clearly you're putting on some kind of facade of who you really are. And that just hurts, so here's a boss fight.
That hurts, so that hurt you even more.
Yeah. In real life, if you do get tough emotions, it's like a video game boss fight. My life is like a video game. Yup. Alright. Besides the joking, this fight features, again, a lot of dodging phases, and then as soon as they're done, you have to shoot Nahima as soon as she appears, or she's gonna do a decently tough attack to dodge. And here comes, there's a variety of attacks, and once again, this game comes with a document with the soundtrack, and if people like the music, there's a list of good music you can listen to. And here you gotta, so for this part you have to balance shooting at the boss while also shooting at this giant enemy that's approaching you that you have to sort of push back to avoid being killed, which can be hard because you have a delay on your shot. You have to reload it. But it's done now.
Done. It's a really fun final part. Balancing it, that's super cool. And
yeah, I'm quite proud of that part.
Yeah. We're moving on to stage 3, which is the awareness stage.
Yeah. Breaking out of the void, and awareness sets in that there is a different way to live things out. It's just the beginning.
We all love fake loading screens in games.
Oh yeah, this loading screen loads absolutely nothing. It's just there. Alright, so the gimmick for this stage is that it's all pretty, it's all sunflowers and sunshine, and then but certain paths are blocked from you with these like face blocks and face fruit. So you gotta pick up the little face, and then the world shows its true colors. And every enemy, including those little rectangles or little squares that spin, everything starts chasing you, and you gotta get out of the level before you asphyxiate under the pressure.
As for speedrunning the stage, it's actually quite an interesting dynamic where you kind of have a choice to spare enemies in the light world, but the problem is they'll turn evil in the dark world, and then they might get in your way and cause really tricky jumps, so you kind of have to balance out which enemy is best to kill, which one's best to leave alive.
Yeah, that was a fun thing to add to the level, because it's fun to give the player little things like that where they can change the difficulty. And yeah, as you can see, when the world gets dark, all the little face blocks, face spikes and stuff, they completely disappear and become just like black silhouettes, and you can just walk straight through it. Which does also sometimes hinder your progress for certain parts, because certain blocks are no longer there to let you... Whoa! Jump scare. Because certain parts aren't there anymore to let you pass.
One little hiccup, but it went pretty well. Okay,
Yeah,
here's a cool
that's some good...
stage with lots of little skips to do as well.
Yeah. And also the gameplay advice, it's always relevant to the gameplay.
They are very true.
Yeah. And this level has the gimmick of these boots, which jump at a certain pattern. And then there's also the big boot, which jumps at the same frequency as the other boots, but when it lands, it sends out a shockwave, making these like candy-colored spikes shoot upwards.
Oh,
So it's all about like understanding this pattern of the boots jumping and then the spikes jumping. There's various little formations of these boots and spikes. Like, for example, this screen where the shockwave comes out from the middle and shoots outwards. And yeah, this stage is based off an album cover for an album by Against Me, who also, there was a song by them earlier. Yeah, it also features this candy-colored boot. So this is, you gotta avoid getting stepped all over by these boots.
the screen is fun. It's like on every single version of the game there was a skip, and you try to skip it. And you try to fix it every time, and I just found a different skip every time.
They just skip every time. Yeah. Everyone's watching you now. Hopefully you can handle that.
It's kind of true right now.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, sometimes you try to be yourself and suddenly you stick out, and it can be really scary. So this level features these eyeballs which shoot like a grabbing hand out towards you and then count down until they can do it again. And then there's also these sort of these silhouettes which just come flying straight at you when you get close. And you can shoot them as soon as they start going towards you. And it's a bit scary. And as you can see from when you shoot the shadows, they are just humans because they do just have skeletons. But this is a very tricky stage. It's like one people in speedruns get stuck on because there's like a lot of parts where it's just easy to forget like certain little traps that like are laid out in the level. Here's the chasing eyeball, which is same as the other eyeballs, but this one actively chases you. But it becomes a little slower as soon as it's doing the countdown. So there's quite a bit you can do there.
That one went exceptionally well compared to the other ones so far. Right.
Yeah, you did really well in that. Now here comes a transformation that people love. It's the Machine Girl. And now you have auto fire, you have some machine guns. And yeah, there's some good advice. Don't let yourself be boiled down to whatever image other people have of you. And yeah, here's a little introductory stage just so you can learn how the transformation works. And here comes the third boss of the game, which is it's a fun one. You're in for a ride.
It's probably my favorite one of the game. It's Machine Girl versus Wolf Girl.
Yeah.
Super cool. As this happens a lot with this game, you have like dodging phases followed up by attacking phases. But in this boss, the difference between the attacking and dodging phases are very different. They even take place in a whole different arena.
Yeah. This is
I'm pretty sure in this one the attacks are actually synced to the music as well a little bit.
Yeah, they are. This is one where I made an attempt to make sure that it was all synced together. And it's tough with these little like spinny attacks that curve. And you gotta make sure you shoot the little wolf girl heads because they chase you in an unpredictable manner. Here's the big creatures. And
creatures.
This is a game of creatures for sure. Alright. Here's the running section.
Another album cover section here.
Yeah, it's got some good HUDs which really do something for gameplay.
You gotta have the "you are being watched" warning at all time on your HUD.
Yeah, make sure your scan is on. Make sure your hidden P is activated. And you are being launched. And yeah, so this is the brain of the wolf girl, which has pretty basic attack patterns, but they can get very tense as you whittle down her HP. And these eyeballs are quite tough. You can kill those, but they have slightly variable speed to them. Here comes the F up your face section. And yeah, it's got various faces. Your face is being fired at you here. Your own face is being weaponized against you.
Those little curving.
Yeah, they're evil.
Really get you
They're so evil. Alright. And as someone's pointing out, the running sections are a little bit like a Mother Brain from Metroid, and I Want to Be the Guy itself, which also features a Mother Brain boss fight. That wasn't originally the intention, but I sort of leaned into it, so there are a few Metroid graphics in there.
Yeah. Luckily, though, in this game you have an auto fire, and in the original I Want to Be the Guy, you have to mash your shoot button as fast as you can, and it hurts a lot, and it's horrible.
Yeah. This entire boss fight is just like a love letter to Machine Girl, who's a band that I really just have loved a lot as I've evolved as a person. And so, I came up with this boss fight while listening to these songs, so it's just fun to turn songs into gameplay. And that's it. That's Machine Girl.
That's the canonical end of the band Machine Girl. Wait, no, that was Wolf Girl, never mind.
That was Wolf Girl. The ending of Wolf Girl.
Here is the fourth phase, Imperfections.
Yeah.
We're gonna see really funny graphics in this part of the game.
Yeah. This is the stage where you realize that even though you might have come closer to discovering yourself, there's always imperfections you can find, and it's hard to feel happy sometimes because you keep just picking at those little imperfections. So in the spirit of imperfections, this level is based off the graveyard level from I Want to Be the Guy, but all the graphics are perfect. So there's all these disjointed little blocks, which some people have a lot of trouble navigating, especially with this character. This right here is the girl who makes you wish you weren't yourself, and she is really hard for people to dodge because she's fast. She chases you in a way that's kind of unique, where she will chase you with a sort of basic chasing script, and then when she gets close enough, she goes straight towards you, and it can just be really tough.
Yeah, she doesn't often end up in the same location twice. If you have slightly different movement, she'll be on the opposite side of the screen, which usually isn't that bad, but this is a long screen here, so she's going to be all over.
In chat, make sure you can read that. That text is totally readable.
Oh yeah, please pronounce it for me. I forgot how you say it.
Yep. Yeah, you pronounce it like...
That did not come through.
Yeah.
I don't think humans are meant to pronounce that one yet.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll get it once you're evolved like me.
Okay, I can't believe that stage went exceptionally well as well. Here's another one of my favorite stages. It's my game, smiley face.
Yeah. And once again, this stage is perfect looking. This is a level that's based off of Unity, and specifically sort of like Unity drag and drop tutorial assets, and yeah, if it's based off of the more imperfect kind of attempts with at making Unity games.
As a speedrunner of a couple Unity games, yeah, Imperfect is how I would describe it sometimes.
Yeah.
A little funny skip that I messed up where you can stand on the ledge. If there's even some imperfect level design where you can skip stuff by standing on the ledges of this button thing.
Oh yeah, so the mechanics of this stage is you shoot these boomerang saws that they can kill you. So when you shoot them, you actually have to watch out you don't get hit by them. And you have to shoot these 3D blocks to get rid of some spikes. And in this level, the heart spawns a few error boxes that you gotta avoid. And then there's the stars, which explode into like 5 beams of light. And then you've got, here's some good laundry advice. Yeah, you can just skip that level. There's I made the blocks kind of funky there.
It's super fun to like find stress there, where you can boomerang your saw the opposite way and kill stuff on the opposite side of the screen. Early. Yeah, it's very fun to ride out.
This is the third form. It's the angel form. So it gets a lot more floaty, and you have this angelic kind of beam attack. So this is the level where you really embrace that perfect angel, which I'm sure will last long. But yeah, and as Cosmo just said in chat, most fan games, most I Want to Be the Guy fan games, they're made in Game Maker. I make my games in Unity, simply because that was the engine I was learning a lot at the time, and then I just learned how to make I Want to Be the Guy fan games in it. And here there's these funny little guys.
You're really not giving yourself enough credit, because there's a lot of tools at hand and engines for I Want to Be the Guy. For Unity, there isn't, so you are basically you're basically all on your own, and you have to make the kids' movement all yourself. You have to do everything yourself.
Oh yeah, this making the physics for this game similar to other fan games was such a challenge. Like I actually had to patch out something post-release because there was a glitch where you could just jump infinitely. All right. Here's the angel room. You gotta collect these bells, and there'll be different angels attacking you. The first one, you got a nice little Kid Icarus guy. The second one, you got a little Halos guy. And here you got Ned Scarlet. She's fun. She's not from any game. She's just Ned Scarlet.
Yep.
All right. So here's one for the fans of video games.
Who's that video game character?
Yeah. So you got classic cave story character Queen. Classic cave story character Queen from Deltarune. And she's got this magical jewel. And she's gonna beat you with it. And yeah, this is one of the few cutscenes where you can't skip the dialogue.
Good, honestly, because that was very on brand.
That's awesome.
A very big fusion boss where there's a cave story queen fight with Dracula attacks from the original I Want to Be the Guy.
Yeah.
This is a bit of
this one, it can be a bit tough. There's a few attacks that can be hard to predict. Like the big wheel attack can be really tough.
Oh yeah, you have to jump really quickly for that one. Luckily, you can tell when she's going to do it because she has a particular laugh she does before it and a facial animation. So
yeah, I made sure everything was telegraphed for this fight. Like, she's slightly lower down and has a particular pose when she's about to do the wheel attack. Also, usually every other attack is one of the tough ones, and here's a little cutscene too.
Chat, help me. What do I do?
Imperfect, Andy. This is the awesome jewel, awesome gem. So yeah, no matter how perfect of an angel you become, you're gonna find someone who's even more perfect. And Queen's got a perfect red jewel that can turn her into the Queen Core. And here's the strategy for the first phase, which is optimal for speedruns, is letting Queen be off screen and shooting her here, because you're slightly higher up on this little platform on the side.
Oh,
that's also a fun part of this boss fight. The first phase is in a slightly smaller room, and then it switches to have more parts of the screen visible for the second phase. And now here comes some of the more dangerous attacks of the second Queen Core, where she summons these little Viru-Kun, which shoot little arrows at you, which can be really hard to like predict, especially because they look a lot like the little bats, which now spawn in the second Queen Core phase.
You can't stand here in the second phase because spikes will appear.
Yeah. And even in the first phase, the mouse attack still appears on this top platform. That was a thing I actually added later on because I noticed how cheesy it was that you can just literally stand up there. But I struck a fine balance. Like for every good part of standing on this little platform, there's a negative too. Like the attacks are slightly harder to predict when they're coming from far away. The falling stones attack gives you less room to dodge because you're slightly elevated. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like
really
that.
bad pattern. You're just kind of dead.
Yeah. And of course, you have to actually predict. You have to like know like her exact path like to the second. And yeah.
If this goes well, it's super satisfying. If this goes not well, it feels so bad to play.
Yeah. Usually top speedrunners don't even use this strategy. Like the two other people who have had records in this game, they just don't do that strategy because like it's a lot safer to just do it like this. To just be there.
Normally when I do runs, it goes decent enough to warrant me going for it every time, but
yeah.
Because it does go really fast if you do get like good attacks and not lose track
also
of the keys.
The song in this boss fight is a remix of Pandora Palace from Deltarune, but it's remixed to sound like a final battle from Cave Story. So it's a perfect mix. There she goes. There she blows. And that's boss 4. The Queen Core.
So, we beat 4 out of the 5 stages. Naturally, that means we're about halfway through the game.
Yeah, the final level is quite long. I love making my final stages very long, and some people don't like that, but to that I say enjoy more game.
Oh, yeah. Lots of little nods to previous parts of the game in this section.
Yeah, this is the conclusion to all the other stages where everything everything comes together. The kid is ready to face themselves, to face society, and the gimmicks, the mechanics returning here is slightly different. Like for example, the glitch bar here also not only moves up and down, but also side to side. The first section of this stage mixes stage 1 and stage 3. I decided to not just make it a full-on like everything returns, but to actually have them be like in pairs, because it's fun to have a little bit of like a limit to what you can do. Just a little bit.
I'm not sure if I actually ever noticed that it was only one input here.
That's fun. Yeah, that's a lot of people don't notice, but I kind of like that. It's so casual that people don't notice. Like, there is no stage 2 and 4 gimmicks in this.
There's like 4 mosquitoes on my screen right now, so that's pretty cool.
They're just having fun. They're enjoying the game.
Hey, good to know.
Shoutouts to every mosquito in chat. Here's the return of the boots. Oh yeah, the boots in this stage, they can also like just defy gravity.
These hands here are insanely mean sometimes, but they were nice to me.
Yeah, they are a bit RNG. Alright, so here's a room that's going to be, it's the basic switch to dark gimmick, or not.
It's pretty tough in this game. Sometimes if you try to do a jump, you get like if you try to do a jump next to a wall in this game, sometimes your jump will turn up as a lot lower of a jump than you intended.
Yeah.
So you have to stay away from walls as much as you can.
Yeah, it's an engine quirk that I'm not proud of, but the game is still playable, I think, so...
Yep. Oh, this room is really tough. It's a very difficult room.
Yeah. This is it's probably noticeable, but the room is different now that you're back to it. Like there's more boots, or maybe there's less, I forgot. But there's more boots in the upper section, and there's also the eyes now, but they only activate once. And then of course, the room turns dark mode here, and
I can't get this today.
And we get some unique interactions with different enemies turning dark. Damn, you're doing the risky strats.
This is the only strat I know, and normally it basically never fucks up, so I just decided to go with it, but...
Yeah, and here comes the second medley section. So this first room is based off one of my favorite I Want to Be the Guy fan games called I Want, which is a very abstract game, but it's also one I really love because it has some insane visuals, and there is a room that looks like this with bouncing tomatoes and intense music. So this is, but I made my little version of it with some original graphics and stuff.
I don't know if that was intentional, but I think this second medley stages has a lot more modern Fangames, where the first one has a lot more like old and classic Fangames.
Yes, that's very much something. Yeah, this is the first one's more like an intro to, it's like classic medley picks that are used in actual medley games, whereas this is just fan games I like that are usually also modern. These tomatoes can be slightly hard to predict. They have a very precise hitbox. Like the stem does in fact have like a hitbox of the stem.
It's something very common in Fangames where hitboxes are precise to the pixel.
Yeah. It's not as common in my games because some Unity hitbox systems are quite finicky. So sometimes I just give them square hitboxes that are slightly smaller than the sprite. But if the situation calls for it, I'll give it a hyper-accurate one. And that's based off a game called I Want to Be the Dream Roamer, and this is Jim Henson's Green Demon. This is based off a game called I Want to Kill the Kermit, which is a wonderful little series of games. And as you can see, the Green Demon is there himself.
Oh, yeah.
And this is Unknown Needle Game, which is based off a game called Untitled Needle Game. And for those who don't know, needle games are like precision platforming fan games with a focus on very precise jumps, sometimes to the extent that you have to know your exact like pixel location. And this is based off a game called Volatile Presence, which is a fun game. Or it's a hard game. It's not one I've actually beaten, but it's made by one of my friends, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course the flat GD.
Yep.
The most iconic of the Fangames here mentioned. Hey, look at that.
Oh my god, it's the Critical Cranberry. And now he's just straight up hateful, but he will still fight you with some cool OCs of his. These are based off of other bosses from other I Want to Be the Guy fan games. Like this one's based off a guy called Mr. Scribble, who's just sort of a scribble in a blob kind of shape. But I made him based off of the statue of David, I think. And he shoots art pieces. This is a and that's based off of a famous character from a fan game whose name everyone knows.
Thank you for finally sharing that. I think that's the first time we heard the canonical pronunciation of this boss.
Oh yeah, everyone loves saying this name. She's just sort of an orb that floats around. She's not really the challenge as much as the wolf girl projectiles. And here's the empty chair. There's a boss in certain I Want to Be the Guy fan games called the Colonel, which is a guy who sits in a chair that looks like this. I just removed him from the picture, and the boss is just his chair. So that's the classic. That's him.
Yeah, and once again, the contrarian cherry didn't really up his defenses too much since last time. build.
It was smart of him to. It was smart of him to bring some friends this time.
Yeah.
Great. So here's the second part of the stage, which takes from level 2 and 4. So you got these like Unity enemies, you got the graveyard enemies, and you got the blue enemies.
I'm not on a cycle, I know right now. Map that shows.
Yeah. But yeah, also most of the graphics in this game are original. Like, apart from like obvious ones like the Deltarune Queen sprite, most of it is original.
That's not what I usually do.
Well, the Queen core, I edited that myself. But...
Yeah, it's funny how in Jane's first like really popular fan game, there was like a section of like, hey, these are the sprites that I made myself for the game. And in this game, there's like a section in the credits that says, these are the sprites I didn't make myself.
Yeah.
So you can really see.
This game was fun. It was a fun little way to challenge myself artistically, and it's very fun. And here, alcohol now does something different, which is very realistic. This alcohol flips your world. That's what it does. So watch out for that.
Alright,
Oh.
I'm just gonna kill this.
And because I'm mean, there's an uneven amount, so you end the screen upside down. And somehow it does lead you downwards, even though your screen was flipped. Which is something not a lot of people notice.
Well, it's you know, your world
Yeah.
flipped upside down when you're under the
Yeah.
effects of booze, but the real world still functions the same way it always.
Yeah. And here, you gotta destroy these little Atari enemies and get the blocks. Oh, and here's what I like to call the guy homage screen, because all the enemies here are more or less based off of enemies from I Want to Be the Guy, except for like the angel that makes a return here.
Come here! Oh, that was fair.
The screen is very tough because those worms that you gotta shoot, they're made to be easy to shoot if you have the shotgun. They're not made to sort of be a regular enemy if you just have the regular little pea shooter.
You have to shoot them in one go. You have to kill them in one go, or else they will be a huge problem. So.
They chase you relentlessly, so you have to really just be accurate when you shoot them.
Right.
And here comes the little things. Okay, here's a bell for the alcohol block, but
there's no alcohol.
Yeah. And now you enter the void yet again. But now you also have to dodge the girl that makes you wish you weren't yourself. And luckily you're a bit faster in Void Kid form, but this is like the nightmare level for speedrunners. Some people said they wanted to speedrun the game, and then they gave up when they got to this section.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I noticed. I think I've witnessed some people practicing for speedrun, reaching the first stage that had this girl, and slowly saw the will of the speedrun drain from their eyes.
This mechanic was a real eye-opener for me over the fact that sometimes a non-RNG mechanic can still be inconsistent, too inconsistent to speedrun.
Much more inconsistent, actually, than the RNG mechanic.
Yeah, because her movement is so specific that you never really get the same twice in a row. But that just makes it fun. That just means that people can do that speedrun thing where they go for luck.
Yeah, that's gambling. I love gambling. Oh, I think I'm a
Yup. Hello. And this is the screen that both has the black void and the girl at the same time.
This may be the hardest screen in the game for me.
Yeah. I did make sure that this screen specifically did not have any enemies that shoot bullets, because that would be just too much stuff to focus on at the same time.
You could barely get out of the way of that little bug before the level ends.
Here's a little
Now
little stage where you gotta use her to excavate a path through the blocks.
luckily, it's the only level in this section where you actually have to do that. In the other ones, you can mostly just avoid
Yeah.
her. She is not in the right spot, like, ever right now for me.
Because this combination of mechanics is very tough, I made sure that like I didn't use too many of like the mechanics from the original stages that were like tough to do like under pressure. So yeah. And yeah, there's a bunch of fun little skips you can do by like getting certain blocks to be destroyed at the right time. And here is Princess Nahima again. And now she's much happier that you're showing more true colors, but also who are you now? And here comes Queen Nahima. And what makes her a queen this time? Well, you're gonna have to see once she shows up. She went from princess to queen. And she's got these sections where you just have to avoid these intense bullets and waves of goo.
When the waves of goop show up on screen, it's already too late. You're gonna get hit by them.
Yeah. So here's various, as you can see, this is a mix of the Queen Core and Princess Nahima. And she's got some new attacks that are mixes of those two bosses. But she's relatively easy if you can get through the attacks, because she doesn't have that much HP.
Oh, that was really nasty. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The blocks with eyes are quite tough. And you got these little dark Viros that can be a bit tough with their unpredictable arrows. And that's it. That is Queen Nahima. And now, with that mini boss out of the way, we've only got the final platforming. And which just features a little bit of everything. From it's sort of the final breakdown of everything.
The stage is already like kind of a nod to earlier stages, so this little section even nods to earlier parts of this stage.
Yeah. And also just like gathers certain types of mechanics together in longer levels. Like you'll see later what I mean with that. But like for example, this stage is like all the like sort of just obstacle type mechanics, like non-killable enemies, and falling objects. And this final stage is just like it's the final little wall blocking you as you try to reach your mind. This level brings back the saw for the enemy stage, where you just get to go ham. You just get to like kick every enemy down.
Wall of death here, and because of boomerangs, oh no! Because of boomerangs, it's gonna go all the way to the right and kill everything in its sight.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's fun. This level can be a bit hard if you plan your saws badly, but like it's also super fun because
that's planning your saws badly there.
Because you can just mow down enemies. Also, the saws kill everything in one hit. So even like enemies with a lot of health. So that's very fun. And here's the final platforming screen. It's the one with every single enemy that chases you. Including the girl, including Kermit, including the little squares.
Yeah, as per usual, none of them really pose a problem except for you guess who?
The girl.
All right.
We love to see it. And here we got
a big old boss ahead of us. Many different parts to it. And it's going to be the finale here.
The door into your mind. It's right there.
It's the goal, right? To escape into the mind. Go, do it, kid. Come on, do it. Go in, do it.
Come on, kid. Come on, kid. Do it, kid. Come on, kid.
Oh, well, there you go.
And yeah, but you don't want to escape into your mind. You want to stay in the real world. You want to be yourself there because you've learned so much. And here comes Mind.
All right.
Yeah. Now, Mind, she has 4 different forms. This first one is the one of the player character themselves. And she's got various little strange attacks, like this one where she melts and just shoots kids at you.
This boss has so many fun animations.
Yeah, this was such a fun boss to make just because I got to get really, I just got really creative with the animations.
I think one of my favorite animations in this game is the phone attack of the next part of the boss.
Yeah. Whoa. Almost done with this first one. This first attack is a little tough.
There we go.
And there we go.
The platforms are going to rearrange to more vertical structure.
Yes, because now we got the Void Mind. And here she starts shooting more crazy attacks.
So most of them are pretty normal to deal with, except for the wiggly lines.
Yeah, those are quite tough. There's a lot of very, unpredictable attacks here. Also, the phone attack can have various angles. It can be bats that go from below. It can be just regular bullets that go from the middle. And it can be the black goo, which comes from the top.
And as you can see, the black goo very rarely gives you a massive wall of death.
Yeah. This is this is a very, you really have to stay alert here, especially because the bugs also appear again, and they are just very tough to deal with if you are not expecting them.
They always show up at the same part though, so if you stand here and keep shooting, they're gonna rock up on your path, and you can deal with them swiftly. This is
this boss
the hardest
is
pattern I've ever seen.
Yeah, you got it.
No.
What?
I'm getting really hard bats as well.
Yeah. Oh, you got the bullets. Nice. So this boss had my favorite animations to make. I added so many little details. When she grabs the phone, her tie moves with the hand down as if also grabbing something. Stuff like that. It's just fun. You can do a lot of fun stuff with animation, which is why I've been leaning more into doing original animations for everything recently. And you're almost there.
One more wiggly lines.
Yeah, but you're gonna get it. Nice.
All right, number 3.
Machine Mind. Now this one
the only unfortunate part is because you're so focused on the attacks, you can't really see many of the animations when you're playing the game.
Yeah, which makes it really fun makes it great for a speedrun game because people are gonna look at the sprites. Here's the jet attack. And then she switches to the other side, and her attacks are slightly different now.
Ooh, that was a close one.
Yeah. Let's see. We got the pink bullet. And almost there.
1.5 more. There's a couple. Not all effects are equal. This one, for example, is very, very tough. It's not one. Typically one, because the explosion hitbox is absolutely humongous, as you can see there.
Yeah. Earlier in the game, I used that explosion in another level, and I had to actually remove it just because it was so hard.
Yes, okay.
All right. Here comes the final phase, the angel phase, which is just a head. And this is a little different because she's going to be chasing you, and she's going to deploy some attacks which are not always nice to get while you're cornered up like this. These arrows can be really tough to deal with.
Not the best play there. Okay, I'm going to have to improvise now. So I'm probably dead very, very soon, but we'll see.
Yeah. Almost there. Oh Oh my god. You got like the worst possible RNG and you still survived that. That is wild. Alright. Oh, you're almost there.
I had to do some crazy improvisation there.
Yeah.
That was absurd. Oh my goodness.
Time is gonna come up when we enter the door here. So 3, 2, 1, time. That was the game.
Nice.
Alright. Pick the role of the king and escape the fortress.
Yeah. It's a nice little ending. You know? The world's not always kind, but you made it. And that's awesome. Gotta keep fighting. And that is the game's nice little ending. And I'm really happy that this game could be played here at GDQ, because that's like a huge honor to me. I never thought I'd have a game that would be on Games Done Quick, so that's just like wild to me.
To be able to show this off to many people. Usually Fangames are very, very, very tough. This one is a little more on the doable side. If you are confident in your platforming and dealing with enemies' ability, I would highly recommend to check it out. Some Jane Chef's itch page. It is super fun, super good game. Serious, it's silly.
Yeah, I mean, Walsk was saying during this that this is probably the most accessible game that was shown off today. So.
Yeah, I guess it kind of is. Yeah, I try my best to make my games like accessible to some extent, because it's just nice to have games you can play.
Well, you can share it with more people, the more accessible it is. This one doesn't really have much precision, but more enemy management and kind of that sort of thing, which I think the average gamer probably has more experience with. I don't think hyper precision is very mainstream, so this one is definitely more approachable. And yeah, I highly recommend to do so.
Well, thank you for running. I know it's rather early for you where you are, so thank you very much for being willing to show this off.
I'm very happy to
do
this.
Jane, thank you for hopping on commentary. Very insightful. It was very entertaining to hear your thoughts about everything involved with this game. This was quite an experience.
Aw, I'm happy you liked it.
This was our final run of the night. But before I wrap up, I want to tell you all about some of the programming that you can see on this here Games Done Quick channel over the next roughly month and a half. I mentioned it a bit earlier in the show, but Flame Fatales is coming up in just over a couple weeks. It's starting on August 18th. Of course, there is also the speedrun stage at PAX West. That's right, GDQ is going to PAX West from August 30th through September 2nd. I will be there. I was actually involved with making that schedule, and it is phenomenal. Please use !PAX in Twitch chat. You can check out the schedule and let us know what you're excited for. There's also Games Done Quick Express at TwitchCon on September 20th through 22nd. Use !GDQX in Twitch chat for more info. Don't believe the schedule is out for that, but let us know what you're hoping to see. And if you missed out on any of this show or any of the show right before this one, Do All the Things with Mr. Shasta, stay tuned right here as we replay both shows coming up after a quick break. And of course, the VODs will be available on youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. As for tomorrow's programming, you can tune in at 1 p.m. Eastern for a weekend full of Metroid speedruns. I've seen the lineup for this weekend. It is absolutely stacked with fantastic Metroid runs. Do not miss it. With that said, I've been Helix. Thank you so much. Shout out again to Walsk for helping me put this episode together. It was a huge help with this. I'm really glad that we could get 3 really cool I Want to Be the Guy fan games. I'm gonna go get some rest. I hope you all can do the same. Have a great night. Have a great day if it's day where you are. And we will see you all again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern.